We have seen many people be canceled without getting their day in court because companies want to look like heroes, that they're vanquishing a mighty evil just so people will still buy their products. But Adult Swim has seemed to make a very controversial decision by firing the co-creator of Rick and Morty, who also voices Rick and Morty, leading to a recast and a complete production shakeup. I have a bunch of things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube membership. So, this happened 20 hours ago as of recording this video, and this post has blown up. It has been trending on social media. Everyone is talking about it, and everyone's kind of fighting about it. So, Adult Swim decided to post this on the official Rick and Morty Twitter account. Adult Swim has ended its association with Justin Roiland. Rick and Morty will continue. The talent and dedicated crew are hard at work on season 7 now. Over the past couple of years, there have been allegations about this individual thrown around. There have been alleged tweets that have been thrown around, but the situation has obviously definitely progressed. This is an article by Deadline. It says, in a semi-sealed case kept out of the public, Roiland has been charged with 1 felony count of battery with corporal injury and 1 felony count of false imprisonment by menace, violence, or fraud. And it says the incident in question against a Jane Doe allegedly occurred in January 2020, and now companies like Adult Swim have decided to part ways with him. But as it says, based on the California sentencing guidelines, that means the voice of the scientist could be behind bars and face some hefty fines if found guilty. That is the key here. They are in pre-trial right now. They have not gone to trial. They have not presented evidence. None of that has actually happened yet, so they decided to fire him without letting a trial happen first. Now, honestly, this situation isn't really surprising to a lot of people, and it's not surprising to me either. There would have been people calling for them to fire him until they did it, and they didn't want to face backlash over it. But of course, they will face backlash now that they fired him because it's basically the final nail in the coffin for this franchise. The problem is they have cut ties before he got his day in court, completely disregarding recent similar situations like what happened in the Johnny Depp trial. The company should have approached this way differently. I don't know why they decided to do this quickly, besides they want to look good. They should have said, listen, we know of all of the allegations and charges, and we are doing an internal investigation and putting all of his projects on hold until we have our findings and the trial has played out. Then he would have had his due process, and if he was found guilty, then they could have canceled all of his shows and projects. But if he was innocent, then just bring him back on, and this situation wouldn't have happened. But of course, this is just about money for them. They wanted to look holier than thou and like they're taking these charges seriously, and so they fired him because they think it's going to lead to more people watching and giving them money, but it doesn't work that way. And they also get to continue production on season 7 and not have to wait because they just want to make more seasons of this show, and now they can. Now they've lost fans though because they have fired him. And what shocks me is how Warner Brothers has handled these two situations. Look at all of the drama with Ezra Miller. Warner has refused to fire him even through all of the allegations and the charges, and yet Adult Swim is owned by Warner Brothers Discovery, yet they're firing this guy? At least be consistent. This is a bad move in my opinion because he was a major part of this project. He is the co-creator and the voice of the 2 main characters, which now have to be recast. It just seems like they shouldn't have announced anything with this about Rick and Morty, and they should have just went silent. They should have just said in the future we'll have news about this IP, but right now we don't. And they are facing massive backlash. They decided to lock their initial announcement tweet. As you can see, 81 million views, but there are over 23,000 quote tweets. People are upset with their decision. People are saying, you guys you did everything wrong here. How, LOL? Justin is Rick and Morty. I mean, these retweets are absolutely golden. Chris Pratt looking at this tweet right now. I'm not saying that his voice is hard to recreate, because honestly, it's really not. We have seen some great voice actors mimic famous characters like Rick and Morty. There have been plenty of people who have tried to recreate their voices and are similar. But the thing is that at the end of the day, it's still not the same, and they're never going to be able to completely match it, and people are going to be able to point that out. Someone said, I bet the first episode is going to be dedicated to the new voices and making jabs at it throughout the whole season. Probably, and it's probably going to be old after the second or third joke. I am not someone who absolutely loves Rick and Morty. I've watched it, I've enjoyed it, but I think that they should just cancel it at this point. I don't see a way that they can continue. He is the two main characters plus tons of additional characters. How will he simply be recast? Oh, that's also true. He does voice a lot of the side characters. He's like the main person behind this show, behind the scenes and in the voice acting room. It just seems like it is going to be so complicated to recast him. Just end the show. Then there are so many people saying they just need to end the show, which obviously I agree with. I don't think that they should continue it at this point. Of course they're going to, because it makes them money and they want to milk this franchise for all that it's worth. But if he's so bad and you don't want to work with him anymore and have him create what he originally created, then you should just cancel it altogether. You've already made your money from Rick and Morty. I do understand the reason, but it's still going to be weird. It would be like Family Guy without Seth MacFarlane. Something would be missing. And this is also something that a lot of people are saying is like, when you take that core individual away from a project, yes, it can continue. Yes, there will still be people supporting it, but something is missing, and then a lot of fans will end up leaving. I honestly think that they're going to face a boycott over this when the next season rolls around. I think that a lot of people are going to say, I'm not touching this show, and I guess that they don't really care since they're going forward with it anyway. It is not right the way these massive companies fire their creatives, disgrace their names, and then keep their work. If the creator of Rick and Morty is too evil to exist, then so are his characters. Just cancel the show if he can't work. This is kind of the majority opinion that I personally have seen through the Rick and Morty hashtags. People are just saying there's no way that you can save this show, and I definitely have to agree. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it and found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.